What's up, guys? This is your boy RG Madao with another UU battle with the same team as my last UU battle. In fact, if y'all didn't see the team preview, then I will leave the link from my team preview vid in the description, so please check it out. But anyway, looking at my opponent's team, looking at my team, I see that Sharpedo, which could definitely do a lot of damage if I happen to lose my Sweet Goon and my Rotom Cut. So what I want is I'm gonna want to hit him hard with that Rotom Cut with the Volt Switch, or really anything. The Leaf Storm, Emolga can shut it down, Porygon 2 with the Thunderbolt can shut it down. So either way, you know, as long as I'm able to keep the Sweet Goon and the Rotom Cut, I should be fine with that. I see his own Rotom Heat. I could definitely, not definitely, but possibly get the Motor Drive activated with my Rotom Baton Pass out into either my Mienshao, Rotom Cut, or my Bisharp, so it could really go in my advantage. I see Swampert, which, since I do happen to carry HP Grass on Emolga and Leaf Storm, with Rotom Cut is not such a big of a deal, and I'm thinking it's his Stealth Rocker, maybe Cobalion, but looking at his team, it's most likely offensive Cobalion with Stealth Rocker, Swampert. Then I see Torterra, which is another, it definitely shuts out Suicune. However, at the same time, my Mienshao with the Flying Gem Microbats can do massive damage to that, possibly one-shot doubtful, but most likely a two-shot. And Bisharp can do some nice damage with the Sucker Punch if I needed to. And I do carry, well, I thought I carried HP Fire with Rotom Cut, but I actually don't. I gotta change that. Frostlass, once again, Rotom Cut could probably take it out. Mienshao with that could probably take it out, and Emolga and Bisharp can probably take it out, so I'm not too worried about that. Cobalion is a huge problem if I lose my Mienshao, so I'm gonna have to make sure that my Mienshao stays alive for the Cobalion, if I can, but if I have to sack it, I have to sack it, because you know how that goes. So anyway, why don't we get started with the battle. Okay, so I have recorded this battle at least 3 times already, and each time has been crap. Here's hoping that this time will be a good one. I called the Swampert lead, so I lead off with my Rotom Cut. Then I knew he was going to switch out first turn because it's too early to take the chance of losing his Stealth Rocker. So I go straight for the Volt Switch as he decides to send a Rotom Heat to take the Leaf Storm. Luckily for me, I do go for that Volt Switch, so I'm able to go on to Porygon 2, pretty much walls Rotom Heat. Now, I figured since Porygon 2 is how he's going to go for the Volt Switch, so let me pull off a double switch into my Emolga or my Loxus. That way I can get that Motor Drive activated, which is beautiful because he ends up going for it. I get that +1 speed. At this point, he decides to switch out, go into his Swampert, which wasn't as smart on his part because I do carry the Hidden Power Grass. However, it didn't matter, so I end up Baton Passing. Now, since the Swampert is at full health and I don't want him getting rocks up, I'm going to go straight out into my Rotom Cut and go for the Leaf Storm this turn, thinking that he's probably going to stay in, predicting me to go for the Volt Switch yet again. As you see, he does decide to stay in, which makes this an quick 6-5 lead for me, and this is looking good because it looks like I'm completely outplaying this guy. Now he's going to send out Torterra though, and Torterra can take a -2 Leaf Storm all day, and since obviously I'm choice logged, I'm going to have to switch out. So I decided to switch out to my Sensei as he decides to land a Toxic. Now, no, man, I did have Bisharp on the team, would have been better if he took the Toxic, but then again, it doesn't really matter because I got the Regenerate ability and I like to switch out. That's the way Mienshao rolls. And as you see, I'm going to switch out here by going for that U-turn on the incoming Frostlass, which doesn't honestly take it very well, considering Frostlass has doo-doo defenses, but it is resisted. Now, like I said, I'm going to be able to switch out, going to my Damage on my Bisharp, and my Bisharp is going to go straight for the Iron Head, not wanting to take any chances as he decides to send in Cobalion, the biggest threat on his team. Cobalion, before this game, I really didn't think of Cobalion as much as of a threat, and once I played this game, whoo, Cobalion was the big threat. I'm telling you, he was giving me nightmares. And as you see, I go into Loxus, really hoping that I can encore him into Substitute or Close Combat, but unfortunately for me, he does outspeed, goes for the Substitute on the switch, then goes for the Swords Dance. It's beautiful, because that means that I can encore him into that Swords Dance. Since I go second, that means he has 3 turns left of Swords Dance, which means I can take out the sub with Mienshao and then hurt him with Mienshao. So as you see here, I'm like grateful he became greedy, as I do end up switching out into my Sensei Wambian Shao, as he ends up going for the Swords Dance, since obviously he's locked into Swords Dance. Now, I was debating, go for the U-turn, predicting the Frost Blast, or just stay in and go for the high jump kick, and at this point I was like, you know what, he's already set up, I'm really forced to go for the high jump kick, considering the U-turn cannot take me out. And as he stays in, which is honestly the smartest play he could have possibly done, he stays in and I'm able to land the high jump kick, knock out that sub, which is just beautiful. And at this point I kind of figured I could most likely take out Cobalion with another high jump kick. So I'm going to stay in again, since once again he is set up, and I'm going to go for high jump kick again. That way this Cobalion will be taken out pretty early on in the game, and it will save me a lot of trouble later on. However, he calls this and makes a very nice play on his part by switching out to Frost Blast to take the high jump kick and giving my Mienshao a lot of recoil damage, especially after the Toxic. But unfortunately for him, I do carry that U-turn, so I'm going to switch. So I was planning on switching out to Bisharp as he pulls off a nice double switch back into Cobalion, and at this point I'm like, crap, now he's outplaying me. Now I am back into a corner. Do I let Damage on my Bisharp go down, or do I let Mienshao go down? And I'm going to switch out, go out into Sensei, really just because if you decide to set up the sub against my Amoga, you know, it's not very good, because he's not going to go for that Swords Dance again, he's going to go straight for the attack. So I end up setting out Mienshao really as death fodder, even though it was the only thing that could really touch this Cobalion for super effective damage. It was the best option at that moment in time. So I'm going to send out Rotom Cut, and at this point, he may be thinking I'm Scarf, so he doesn't want to take a -1, a choice spec. He doesn't want to take a Volt Switch when he's at -1 defenses, and he's going to switch out into Torterra. However, at this point in time, I thought I carried HP Fire, and he honestly thought I carried HP Fire as well, but I don't, sorry to say, as he's going to Toxic my Rotom Cut, which is perfectly fine because, you know, Rotom Cut likes the Volt Switch, and after this Torterra is gone, he no longer has the ground type on his team, so I'm free to Volt Switch as much as I want. And he's going to switch out into his own Rotom now, once again still thinking it's HP Fire. However, as you see here, it's not HP Fire, it turned out to be HP Dark, which is pretty surprising, but I fixed that, now it is HP Fire, so for my next upload, be prepared to see HP Fire. Anyway, I'm going to switch out to my Lexus now, fearing if it was Scarf, or, like, I didn't want to take the chance if it was Scarf, as he ends up going for the Overheat, which is easily going to knock out my Lexus, no problem. But oh well, Luxus did his job this game. He was able to baton pass, do some nice encore shenanigans. He saved me from losing, so that was beautiful. Now I'm going to send out Juvia now against this Rotom, since it is locked to Overheat and it's at -2 special attack. So he decides to switch out into Torterra. However, I decided to set up the substitute, figuring, you know what, since I knew the Torterra was coming in, but I figured, you know what, his best move to knock out my sub is Wood Hammer. So he's going to go for Wood Hammer, take that recoil damage, and if I hit him with a Surf on both turns, since I will outspeed, if I'm able to hit him with 2 Surfs, I should be able to knock him out with that Wood Hammer recoil. And as you see, does not close to it, just barely enough where he will survive. However, because he does decide to hit me with the Wood Hammer to knock out my sub, the recoil activates, and after leftovers, he isn't able to recover enough HP to the point where Surf will not be able to take him out. Because as you will see here, the Surf will be able to take him out, which is beautiful, because now my Rotom Cuts can easily cause some Volt Switch shenanigans against him. So Torterra goes down, and at this point it is 4-4. It is a tie, and really my opponent is not playing any games the way he's playing. He's going to send out Frost Blast really to Thunderbolt my Suicune. I figured I don't really need Suicune in this match, so let me take one hit, because I know for a fact I can take a hit and go for the sub. Just in case he wanted to like set up spikes predicting my switch, I wanted to really just get as much damage on this Frost Blast as possible. So he ends up going for a second Thunderbolt, as I figured he would, and I'm going to go straight for the Surf, just once again trying to get as much damage on this Frost Blast as possible. And as you see, this Surf, even though, you know, I have no special attack in this does a lot of damage to this Frost Slash. It does just enough where it will be a 2-shot, which would have been beautiful if Curse Body didn't activate and if the Frost Slash was slower than my Suicune. But unfortunately, since it is faster and Curse Body activated, I'm forced to switch as I do end up going to Bisharp, knowing that Bisharp can most likely take one Thunderbolt. And as you see here, the Thunderbolt does slightly over half damage, but after leftovers, I do get back up to low green health. Now he's going to switch out, go out into his Cobalion yet again. However, I called this time, and I go, you know what, I'm going to taunt you. I'm not going to let you set up again. I'm not going to get in trouble. Since I'm able to taunt, it is beautiful, because now I can switch out to Suicune to pressure PP stall him out of the close combat. And as you see, I do decide to switch out, go out into my Juvia, just trying to get like 2 turns of close combat out of that Cobalion. Without close combat, it's not nearly as much as a threat. And as you see, I'm able to survive with 4 HP, which means not only am I allowed to get 2 PP out of close combat, I'm able to get 4 PP out of close combat from that Cobalion, which is just beautiful, because at this point this Cobalion ran out of close combat PP and he can no longer hit me with the close combat. So mission accomplished, Suicune, you saved me the match right then and there. Now, the taunt does wear off this turn, but it doesn't really matter because once again he doesn't have that close combat anymore. So I want to send out Rotom Cut as he goes for the substitute, and at this point he knows I'm not Scarfed anymore. But oh well, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, just trying to get as much damage on it as possible, and I kind of figured that my Rotom Cut was not what was packing the Hidden Power Dark at that point, so I decided not to go for it. Now I want to decide to switch out, go out into my Porygon 2, knowing that since he ran out of PP for close combat, he can't really do much, and unboosted Iron Head isn't going to do all that much where I can just recover off that damage. And he's just going to go for a substitute yet again, as I decide to go straight for the Thunderbolt, not playing any games. He doesn't have anything on his team other than Rotom Heat that wants to take that, and the Rotom Heat actually is low health, so it's a win-win situation. So that Thunderbolt, luckily for me, is enough to take out the sub, which means he's forced to switch out, knowing he can't one-shot me, and he goes out into his Rotom Heat just so he can get as much damage on my Porygon as possible. However, unfortunate for him, this Overheat's not going to really do that much damage, considering I'm a motherfucking Porygon! Yeah, I'm a motherfucking Porygon. It does hardly any damage. It doesn't even take me out of green HP, and I'm able to knock out that Rotom Heat. So this is the beginning of this kind of late game Porygon 2 sweep. Spoiler, sorry about that. But anyway, he's going to set up Cobalion now, just because he does have that damage on him, and after Swords Dance, the higher in the head should be able to take me out. However, this is when the gods of hacks love me, because I go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm able to luckily paralyze this Cobalion, which is just beautiful, because that means I can get another turn of damage on it, since I am faster now. And as you see here, I do go for the Thunderbolt, trying to get that extra turn of damage. It does not KO. However, he gets paralyzed, which is just beautiful, because now that he is paralyzed, I am free to knock out this Cobalion with taking no damage, which is just beautiful. So Cobalion, bye-bye. And now, this is the second kill that Porygon 2 gets. His biggest threat on this team is gone, and all he has left is a Frost Slash and a, what's it called? A Sharpedo. Now he did a smart play going on the Frost Slash first, because as you see here, the Curse Body does activate as I'm able to take out the Frost Slash, but because this Thunderbolt is disabled, all I have left is Ice Beam, and he has a Sharpedo. And last time I checked, Ice Beam's not going to do that much, so I'm going to have to switch out, go out into my Rotom Cut this turn, hoping he will go for the Protect. Unfortunately, he ends up going for the Waterfall, which was the smarter play on his part. And after the poison damage and the waterfall damage, my Rotom Cut will not be able to take another one. So as he does get that speed boost activated, I realize that my Rotom Cut's gone, especially since he could just protect this turn, and even if I was Choice Scarfed, he'd be faster. So, you know, at least I could do is Life Orb stall and get this 2 turns of Life Orb damage, just trying to get as much damage as I can. That way Porygon 2 can come in with Sharpedo's terrible defenses and knock it out with one Thunderbolt. So Rotom Cut goes down. However, he did his job this game, which is just beautiful, and the speed boost activates, so he's at +2 speed at this point. I'm gonna go out to Porygon 2, like I said, hoping that Porygon 2 can finish this game up, as I trace the speed boost ability. Doesn't matter, because as long as I don't flinch, I have this game, and I'm gonna recover this turn, really just trying to get as much damage on it as possible with Life Orb, since I have like 0 to no
special attack investment on this Porygon too. So at this point I'm like, alright, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt yet again, just because at this point I'm pretty sure that the Thunderbolt can take out the Sharpedo, and I don't want to risk getting flinched. So he's going to go for the Waterfall, wanting me to get flinched yet again. Unfortunately for him, I do not get flinched, and I'm able to finish the game off with that Thunderbolt and knock out that Sharpedo. So that's a good game, Pokemon Trainer Ryan. Sorry, this commentary is slightly dull. I don't know, this is a very long battle. It took me a while. So anyway, I'm RG Madao, and I will see y'all later.